Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new moon forecast for November 2022. It is the new moon in Sagittarius, and we are in a really powerful portal these next few days of receiving some energy that's asking us to take hold of our destinies. So please stay tuned. My name is Charlotte Alea Dovechild. I am a priestess of the divine feminine. I am an oracle for Mother Earth. I am an intuitive channel and spiritual guide. And I am so glad that you have decided to tune in today to this forecast to see what energies are here for us. For us. One of my passions is really about clearing personal and collective karma and fate so that we can personally and collectively step into our destinies and our evolution, the evolution that Mother Earth is really asking of us and guiding us towards at this time. So in these readings, we look at the collective energies that are here for us to help us evolve in tune with our destinies, in tune with the highest good, in tune with our own highest good, right? Okay, so each moon, I do these on the full moon and on the new moon every month. And each moon I draw 4 cards and I pull from this deck, Tarot of the Spirit by Pamela and Joyce Eakins. And so these 4 cards, the first is going to be the lesson. What are we being asked to learn right now? The second card is going to be our shadow. So what is kind of coming out from hiding that we are being asked to heal, release, confront. And then the third card is the gift. So what is in the offering for us that we get to receive when we really embrace this challenge and the shadow, the lesson, challenge, shadow. And then the last card is called the wild card. And that's really what other powerful energies are present right now that might actually kind of either put a be usually what I find is what other energies are present that are that can help us through this portal, or they can be sort of what other energies might actually be challenging us more through this portal, right? So that's why we call it the wild card, because it can be anything. Okay, so I'm going to dive in actually right away. I sometimes on these forecasts that I've been doing for just a few, I think is this my 4th one? Yeah, it's only my 4th one, but it already feels like I'm doing them forever. So sometimes I have a little bit of a preamble, but today we're just going to go right into the cards because I love what is presenting itself to us today. And by the way, if you're watching this the day before the new moon, when we're in the dark moon, it's like the energies are already beginning to unfold. And also these energies, they coalesce, around the 3 days of the dark moon, the new moon, and the day afterwards. But really, we can feel the resonance for at least 5 to 6 to 7 days. That's how I have noticed it anyway. All right, so here's our first card. This is our lesson. 2 of Earth. 2 of Earth. So I love this card because this is like one of those sleeping giants within the tarot deck. It's not a major arcana card, but when I pull this card in personal readings, it's like, oh, okay. There is a powerful opportunity right now for me to really think about the choices that I am making in my daily life. And these can be very, very simple choices, from like, what first thoughts am I having when I wake up in the morning, to what am I eating for breakfast and lunch? Those kinds of things. This card really, it contains the essence of that Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. So really what is inside, what is stirring, and what we are attending to on the inside is going to be reflected on the outside. And so it's kind of brings us back to this place of personal accountability and self-responsibility. So being personally accountable and being self-responsible. And so looking at, like how we are manifesting the outcomes that we actually want or that we do not want in our life. So we can't change the past, and there is only so much we can change in the present moment in terms of our circumstances. There's some we can change in the present moment, and there's some that we can't, right? But what we can always shift is our relationship to what is going on for us in the present moment. We can make a decision that what we're experiencing is going to be like our downfall or is a burden upon us, right? If we're facing challenges, or we can choose to embrace whatever is happening, even if it's super challenging, as a gift and opportunity. And when we make that choice, that is ultimately what we end up manifesting, right? If we decide something is a burden, it's going to be a burden. And it's going to continue to be even a bigger burden for us, because when we focus on the energy, it expands. And if we decide something is a gift, then that gift starts to open up to us, and we start seeing the grace and the benevolence and what is for us in this. So this card is really asking us to start making those choices for ourselves. I have really been noticing this energy a lot personally the last several months. I remember there was like several things that happened in 1 week where I was really noticing how my words were becoming spells. Like I was sitting and eating at a Thai restaurant, and I think I was like serving myself like some curry onto my plate, and I was like, oh, I really don't want to spill this. And guess what happened the next moment? I spilled it all over myself. Because even though I said I don't, I was still envisioning like spilling it all over myself. And there was like 2 other things that happened right in a row, like within 2 days. And I was like, whoa, I am getting a message to really think about, like not think about, but up my awareness as to what thoughts I am manifesting. And really bringing focus to the fact that our voices create spells, they create the outcomes. Maybe not in like really dramatic, obvious ways, but in some way, even if it's super subtle, those little subtle ways that our words and our thoughts become reality build up over time. So we might not notice it in just one moment, but over time, most definitely. So most of us who work with the tarot, and by the way, 2 of Earth is 2 of Pentacles in a typical tarot deck, know this card as sort of like being pulled between 2 choices, in 2 opposing directions, right? Do a little dance. And so that remains. I am seeing that, but it's less about what we choose to do and thinking about it more, less about like, should I do this or that? Because when we do that, we can sometimes become, like the seesaw, right? Where we're just feeling pulled back and forth. And instead, think of it as, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? And then the choice becomes so much more obvious because there is a more aligned choice with who you are wishing to be and to embody. What kind of person do I want to be in this moment? That will help you really define the choices that you're making throughout your day that are shifting your reality and are paving the path for your destiny. So, as you can see, through this new moon portal, we have a lot of leeway. We have a lot of leeway in all the cards here. We can really choose to suffer through it, or we can choose to really embrace it and open ourselves to love and grace and opportunity. Okay, so let's move on to the second card. And this is our shadow. And so the shadow is really about what is coming out from hiding, what is beyond our awareness in our unconscious that is ready to become conscious so that we can integrate it and release it and move through it, right? Okay, so 10 of Fire. And when I pulled this card, it was actually reversed. So when cards are reversed, it's usually the energy is having, how can I say this? It is kind of being pushed down, right? It's not being able to be fully expressed. So 10 of Fire is a liberator card. This is a card of transmutation. And with it reversed, what I'm really hearing is some questions for us, which is, what are you refusing to change? And where won't you budge? What are you gripping onto that you're actually being asked right now to let go of? So this card is called the Cage, and it's on fire. And what I'm envisioning is like you're trying to keep the fire burning when you don't have any more fuel left. There's no more logs. There's nothing left to add to the fire, right? It's done. And so if you refuse to let the fire burn out and complete itself, but if you're going to try to keep it going, what is going to happen is you're going to burn yourself. You're going to throw yourself into the fire. So you have a choice right now, because this is also what I'm really, really hearing from this card. I got a strong message of lightning strike. Change is coming. Change is coming, whether you want it and like it or not. And so you have the choice to be burned through that change or to move with it. Right? And so whatever is coming up for you, and you're like, God, oh, it feels so hard to let that go. Let it go. I'm hearing that there's an opportunity for us to really dig through some layers and ask yourself, what are you afraid of if I let go? What do I fear? And keep it going, right? Keep that inquiry going. What do I fear? I fear failure. I feel that I'm going to fail. Okay, what does it mean to fail? Failing means that I'm disappointed in myself and everybody around me is disappointed in me. How can I shift my relationship to that? Right? What am I really disappointed about? So keep going until you can't answer any more question, or the only answer to those questions is to simply give yourself love. To simply give yourself love. So this is a gift. Transmutation, 10s are always about transformation. When we get to a 10, we're coming to a place of completion, and we're ready to begin a new cycle. So we see this energy all around us right now. Well, I'm in California. So in California at the end of November and beginning of December, there's leaves everywhere. Our leaves change color a little bit later than on the East Coast, I think. So I'm seeing that like bright red and orange and yellow color everywhere, right? There's this fire energy that is asking us to just burn it down, let it go, and step away, right? And I feel this energy with Sagittarius, you know, with that lightning bolt and the lightning bearer and the star that's just this shooting across the sky is coming towards us, saying, change is here. Are you ready to embrace it? Because we're going regardless of whether you want it or not. So another question for you, because we have this opportunity here, right, is to look at what is pulling you towards a choice that is not in alignment with who you want to be. And then really begin those inquiries around, what do I fear? What do I fear? What is the resistance? What is the voice of the resistance? If I could speak that voice, what would it say? And it's not about fighting that resistance and that voice. It's about loving it, presencing it, giving it a voice so that you can move through it, right? Use the fire to move through it, to welcome it in. Because when we make unconscious aspects of us conscious and we offer that part of us love and compassion, most of the time it will complete itself. And this is an energy that we seriously cannot avoid. Okay, so let's see. I think that is it. Oh, there was one other metaphor that came through with the leaves that I just wanted to share, which is about how this energy, and this is why we really want to move, kind of cooperate with the fire that wants to burn itself out versus keep it going, because it's sort of like rotten fruit. What we had built before that was beautiful and glorious is now becoming toxic if we try to keep it going, right? It's dead and dying. It's going to be a zombie. And so that energy then stays with us and becomes more and more toxic, even though in the beginning it served a purpose and it might have been beautiful, but it's done, it's complete. We can really learn from this but through the cycles of Mother Earth. And what was beautiful and full of life in the spring is just now done. It's freaking done. It's run its life cycle. So looking at what has run its complete life cycle and stepping away, letting it go. Okay, so we're going to go right into now more letting go energy. I usually do them right in a row. So from challenge to shadow to gift to the wild card, but we're going to do things a little differently today. We're going to go right to the wild card and then we're going to go back to the gift because we have our first major arcana, our only major arcana of this reading. And as I've said before, when we have a major arcana card, it's like all the energy sort of like coalesced upon that card. So if that shadow was of 10 of fire, was showing us how we're gripping, the hangman is our ticket from that. The hangman is all about divine release and letting go. It is about turning over what is complete, what wants to die, to the divine. So I love this card for us this month. Let me actually step back for a moment. Okay, let's look at the numerology, because I'd love to talk about the numerology of these major arcana cards. So we have a 12, and a 12 is 1 plus 2, so it's a 3 card. Now, we have three cards in the major arcana. We have the Empress, which is 3. We have the Hangman, which is 12, and we have the World card, which is 21. And this trifecta of cards also makes a trifecta of the creator, sustainer, destroyer. So that is a famous trifecta of actually goddess energies upon this planet. So The Empress is the creator, and the Hangman is the destroyer, and the World is the sustainer. So really, this card is divine destruction. And we want to think about this energy as not just letting go and releasing, but actually making a sacred offering to a power greater than ourselves, to a cause greater than ourselves, to a benevolent, loving force in the universe that you are joining forces with in order to actually move you further along your path. So you're not actually losing anything. You're not. You're actually gaining because you are joining forces with this greater force. So don't just release for yourself. Don't just let this go for yourself. Let go for your kids. Let go for your community, for your spouse, for your partner. Let go for all of humankind. Let go for Mother Earth. What are you letting go for? Make it bigger. If it feels like you're getting caught and stuck in the egoic gripping of your ego just can't let go of this, then go whoosh, go to the higher level and make it not about yourself. Because let me tell you, when we can make something not about us, it is much easier to let go or to move into something. It's like we're trained in this culture to really live and identify with our egos, right? Which is all about kind of the self. But that's not really who we are. That's not who our heart is. That's not who our soul is. And so when we're given an opportunity to make something about something much bigger than ourselves, it's like whoosh, it's easier. We find it so much easier. And it's like a relief. It's like, oh, thank you. And really, that's what this energy is. This energy, when we embrace it, feels like such a relief. It's like if your hand has just been holding on to, and it's like all your muscles are tensed up in your fist or in your shoulders. You're carrying this big weight and tension in your shoulders, and it's like, and you relax, and you let the weights fall. You let the thing fall from your hand, or even if you've been running a marathon, right? And it's like you meet the finish line, and then you get to just relax and rest. So this card is about really giving into that rest. It's time to take a break, right? It's time when we're finished with something. Our culture, and I think I talked about this during our last reading, but our culture really doesn't teach us that when we complete something, we need to have a sacred pause before we begin something new. It's like off on to the next thing. And let me tell you, our culture during this time, as we're going into the holiday season, it's all around, we got to do all the shopping. We got to get all the deals. And we got to, set our intention, our New Year's resolutions. And we have all these plans, like the Christmas party and office party and the family gatherings and right? Our plates become fuller, so full during this time, when it's like this time is actually, we're meant to be going into the dark and resting. So embrace rest. This just look at the imagery of this a little bit. So his legs are in the shape of a 4. The 4 is a sacred mother, sacred number. That was a funny slip, of the earth and of stability. So it's the most stable number. So he's actually fully grounding himself. He's putting his crown into the earth, actually going inside the earth. So he's stabilizing himself upside down with his crown, his connection to the divine, into Mother Earth, to ground all that energy, his energy, and come back home. Really, this card is about coming back home. Let's see. Yeah, this choice, that we are making for ourselves right now, these new choices, very much is probably going to revolve around stopping. Just stopping, right? Should I go or should I stop? Should I go the same way that I've been going for years and years? You know, I might as well, right? This choice is presenting itself to me again. I might as well. Or should I just not? Should I just stop? Maybe there's an opportunity right now for us to stop. And because it's a hangman, because this is a divine rest, a divine stop, it's actually an opportunity for us to switch the whole system off and reboot. And let's move into that energy next, actually. So this last card, this is our gift. And we have Mother Water. So this is Queen of Cups in the traditional tarot. So just look at that image for a second. How just nebulous it is. Mother Water is about dissolving ourselves into a cosmic ocean of love. She is the cosmic ocean of love. When I was meditating on this card, what I was receiving was, for a day or 2 or 3 during this portal, let yourself be unindividuated. Let yourself dissolve. Let yourself be no one, or just be, right? Let yourself just be the presence, be the consciousness of loving awareness. This is something we are definitely not taught how to do. And in my experience, it has come not through training how to do it, but through letting go. If I have practiced enough in my spiritual practice of embodying love, right? Then when I let go of things that are truly difficult, not difficult, if I let go of things that are truly straining, right? Or holding me back and complete, just as we are with the Ten of Fire, things that are causing me suffering, then I let go into this sacred great pool where I get to not be anymore. I get to not be myself anymore. It can feel like a relief. I really feel like in this energy, we dissolve our egos. So I had this incredible experience this summer in Glastonbury. It was on retreat, and I was with a group of sisters, and it was a retreat of really parting the veils and going into Avalon. And when I was there, the veils parted, and I really was in Avalon. And I received so much love. Like, I have never opened my channel to receive that much love that I felt physically high for days. And with that just infusion of so much love, I went through an ego death where I didn't feel it at all. It was like, it just melted away. It just melted away with the combination of fire and water. And I just dissolved into the sea and came back into just the divine feminine mystery. So that's also a frequency of this card. It contains the mystery. It contains the unknown. And the mystery and the unknown is something that's sacred as for us, as humans living in this incredible universe. that we get to not know everything. We get to hand over the big pieces to a force much bigger than ourselves. And so it allows us to deepen into trust of a benevolent presence in the universe. That we're not just dissolving into nothingness, we're dissolving into a benevolent presence that is going to, it's like you dissolve into this sea and the currents that are going to take us to our new starting point. And we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything. There's no efforting. We are so right now in this taking down a patriarchy. We're really learning how to do less, how to make it so much easier on ourselves. Because let me say, we have been making things so hard on ourselves that when it comes to, like in the last reading, right, we were receiving these seeds of our next becoming, of the next pieces of our journey, and we're getting all this inspiration. And instead of being like, okay, I gotta get to work, I gotta plan, I gotta do this, we don't have to do that. We planted the seeds. Now we just get to dissolve into the cosmic sea of love, loving consciousness and awareness, and allow it to coalesce, allow it to literally push us to the next place of where our next starting point. So really, this is the gift. This is an experience of bliss. This is an experience of bliss. These experiences are often fleeting, right? That this sense of really dissolving and having no self. And I think they're meant to be fleeting. We're not meant to stay in this state for long term, right? Because we're here to be somebody. We're here to be, I am Charlotte Elea Dovechild. But we can take the energy, the experiences from that dissolving. We can take what am I trying to say? We can take the resonance of that experience of dissolving and move it forward in our life, so that we can meet these opportunities to let go, which are challenging, so challenging for our egos. We can remember and trust that the next time we let go, we're letting go into that cosmic sea of love, right? We're not free falling through the dark into nothing and landing on a hard cement floor, right? That's the fear. We're falling into a sea of love. And until we experience it and have that sense of like memory, energetic memory within us, body memory, then it's hard. It's hard to trust it. So I just want to honor that. It is really hard to trust it. Many of us haven't had that experience yet. And the first time we do, it's life-changing, because it makes every other time we come to these points, we can fall back on that and remember, there's a loving place that I'm falling into as I surrender, as I become the Hanged Man. So if you haven't yet had that experience, you may just have to take my word for it, other people's word for it, and trust that there is something bigger out there holding you, guiding you, pushing you to the next direction. And you get to do way, way, way less right now than you ever have before. All right. Thank you so much. That is our forecast for this new moon. Just a couple announcements. I've been meaning to ask at the end of each video if you could please press the like button. And if you want to follow me, I do these twice per month. I have ideas for other videos, other kinds of videos on the way as well. And also, I offer full destiny readings, individual destiny readings. And I have two new readings that I'm offering now as well. One, which is basically a question answer session with your soul. So if you come with a question that you want some clarity on regarding your path or a choice that you're wanting to make or anything else, and we draw cards on it, and I provide the answer from a soul point of your soul's point of view. And then I also have a new reading around dreams. So one of my specialties is dream interpretation. And so we have a reading where we go through your dream, talk about the archetypes, personal and collective, that are coming up, the symbols, and we draw cards on it as well. And so that you walk away really understanding why you receive that dream or are receiving that recurring dream, what its meaning for you is, and how it's trying to invite you, what guidance it's wanting to offer you right now, what messages it holds. You can check all that out on my website, and the link is below. And that is it for now. I will see you in another couple weeks. It has been a pleasure, and yeah, sending lots of love your way.